Madhava Kunta Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunta Bihari Upijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Prajatana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Vishnavat Pranam Sabrajacharya Stotra Sisivat Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Gangamai Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtanya Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Kurum Karanga, glories to Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tato Chayamotirayet Nastapreshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishrayasaya Lokasya Danyam Svastainam Mahat Krishna Svatamapakate Dharma Gyani Pisaha Kalonasta Shammesha Purunar Kotanotitaha Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purnashuddha Nityamukta Pinadvam Namanamino Trinata Pisane Chena Tarora Pisahishnana Amani Namanatena Kirtaniya Sadahari Panchakalpatrupyascha Kripa Sindhabevacha Prathitanam Pamanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditau Gaudatai Pushpavanto Chitta Shandatamo Nudau He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandha Chagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Kam karoti vachalam, pankum langai dikrim yat kripatam ham bande shigurum dinataranam. Omakyati marandasya gananchana salakyam, chakshurum militam yena, tasma shigurave namaha. Prantarat Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So today we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, text 25. The previous or last time's verse we discussed was text 22. Here it is stated, certainly therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. then it's further stated. We jump over these two verses here. Sattvam rajas tamo iti prakrite gunaistaya ukta para purusha eka ihasya tate stit adaye hari virinchi hareti sangya shrayamsi tatra kalusatva tano rinam siu. The transcendental personality of God that is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, passion, goodness, and ignorance, and just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Amongst them, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of goodness, sattva, or Vishuddha sattva. Prabhupada writes in purport that Lord Sri Krishna, by his plenary parts, should be rendered devotional service, as explained above, is confirmed by this statement. Lord Sri Krishna and all his plenary parts are Vishnu Tattva, or the Lordship of Godhead. So then we go to the today's verse, text 25. So that's the verse for today. Pechire munayo takre, pechire munayo takre, bhagavatam atokshacham, bhagavantam atokshacham, sattvam vishuddham kshemaya, sattvam vishuddham kshemaya, kalpante yenutan iha, kalpante yenutan iha, pechire munayo takre, bhagavatam atokshacham, sattvam vishuddham kshemaya, kalpante yenutan iha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. Purport. The purpose of performing religion is neither to profit or by material gain, nor to get the simple knowledge or discerning matter from spirit. The ultimate aim of religious performances is to release oneself from material bondage and regain the life of freedom in the transcendental world, where the personality of Godhead is the supreme person. Laws of religion or dharma, therefore, are directly enacted by the personality of Godhead, dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. And except for the Mahajans or the authorized agents of the Lord, no one knows the purpose of religion or dharma. There are 12 particular agents of the Lord who know the purpose of dharma, and all of them render transcendental service unto him. Persons who desire their own good may follow these Mahajans and thus attain the supreme benefit. Here we also read some of the commentary from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Thus here it is stated that the sages in ancient times worshipped the Supreme Lord, who is Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva means having a body composed of the Chit Shakti arising from his Svarup. It's not a material sattva or goodness, because the Shruti says, Vidavidyabhyam pinam. The Lord is neither material knowledge, sattva, nor ignorance. Gopal Tapan Upanishad. Furthermore, the Smriti says, Jayatapau yatra na kritha bhakshav. In the Lord there is no ignorance or knowledge, which causes prejudice towards the jiva. Bhagavatam 8, Canto 5, Chapter Text 27 in the prayer. Gajendra quoted. Satya Gyanantananda Matraika Rasa Murtaya. The Vishnu Murtis, that's a quote from 13th chapter, text 54, 10th canto. The Vishnu Murtis, Brahma saw after he kidnapped his Krishna's friends and calves. Krishna manifested the same calves and friends, gopas, from his internal energy. So when Brahma returned to look how Krishna, this whom he considered a kind of god, how he can be my Narayana? Because how can my Narayana play with the ordinary boys, cowherd boys, from the Gopa forest dwellers here in this forest, and even eat picnic with them and exchanging the food what the opposite distribute and also offer to Krishna. So he was confused, bewildered by the Lord's Lila Shakti or Lila Maya, Yoga Maya. So she arranges these kinds of pastimes of forgetfulness, so that even Brahma forgot who Krishna is. He didn't understood his position, that he is eternally a Gopa, cowherd boy. And he was bewildered. So he tried to test him. So he kidnapped everything that his friends and calves. But then Krishna manifested from his own energy the same calves, same friends. And then when Brahma was completely puzzled and could not understand what is right, what is wrong, so then suddenly all of these manifestations of Krishna, these calves and boys, they manifested Vishnu forms with 4 arms, with all the paraphernalia, with all their powers and opulences. So he even became more bewildered. So here is the Vishwanath Chakravarti quotes from this 13th chapter, text 54. Because the body of Vishnu is beyond Maya, one cannot say that Vishuddha Sattva means the Vidya arising from Maya Shakti. I have to read this here. The Vishnu Murtis all had eternal, unlimited forms, full of knowledge and bliss, and existing beyond the influence of time. That is what Brahma saw. That was it. So he then recognized his mistake and he offered very nice prayers in the 14th chapter of the 10th canto. And he completely surrendered himself to the lotus feet of the Lord. Because he says, only by the Lord's mercy, we cannot understand him by Gyan or by fruitive material activities, or by studying many Vedic literatures. We can only understand him if one gets a little kripa, little mercy from the Lord, that he will reveal himself to a certain person. Only then we can start to understand him. We can never understand God, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full, especially not by empirical researches and approaches, only through bhakti. Bhakti ham ekaha graya, bhakti mama bhajanati, yavanashashmi tatvata. Krishna in several places, he points out that only through bhakti yoga, through the pure unmotivated devotional service, the Lord is revealed and is understood. In the beginning, partially or a little, and by growing, making further advancement by the process of sadhana bhakti in the association of guru and sadhus, the Vaishnavas, we can make further advancement. As stated in the previous verses, beginning with Srindatam Svakata Krishna, that the Lord from within and from outside, as the Chaita Guru and the Guru, they help us, purify us by giving us transcendental knowledge and understanding of the absolute truth. So it's not possible by material research. Therefore, all those who studied and approached the Puranas and the Vedas in a scholarly way, like the Indologists and philosophers, they actually could not understand Krishna's real greatness. And they considered him actually not just an ordinary person, or ultimately something impersonal, Brahman. So they could not understand him. But it is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, fools deride me when I appear in the human form as a cowherd boy, or as Krishna or Vasudeva. They deride me as something material, that I accept a material body, a human body. So therefore they're actually committing an aparad, an offense towards the Lord, because by their mental concoction, not by devotion, they try to understand Krishna. But Upanishads say we cannot understand Krishna or the absolute truth by mental speculation, by scholarship, by studying many scriptures and even know very nicely Sanskrit, grammar, and all, understand and translate all these books. They cannot. They even dare then to make commentaries, misinterpreting Krishna's words or the Veda words. Veda is mother. Veda is the Shruti. Veda is given by the Lord himself. Veda Narayana Sakshat. It is not man-made. It's aparushaya. So therefore the Vedas are Krishna's words, their knowledge about Krishna. Vedas sarvai aham eva vidya vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. So Krishna says, I'm situated in everyone's heart, and for me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. I'm the compiler of the Vedas. I'm the origin of the Vedas. I'm the knower of the Vedas, and I'm also the goal of the Vedas. So the goal of all the Vedas, of all this vast amount of Vedic literatures, Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Pancharatrika, is all meant to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and ultimately the process of bhakti to surrender unto him. So that is the conclusion from all the Vedas and especially from the Srimad Bhagavatam. As we know, Srila Vyasadeva himself seemed to be perplexed after compiling so many Vedic literatures and Puranas and Mahabharata. And he felt dissatisfaction. And at that point, Narad Muni appeared before him, and he told him, you're actually are perplexed or feel empty inside of you or not satisfied because you didn't glorify devotional service to the Supreme Lord and the position of Krishna and devotional service unto him in a elaborate and in a very emphasizing way. In the Puranas, as we know, there are 18 Puranas, Mahapuranas, with 10 subject matters. And there are also 18 Upapuranas with 5 subject matters or topics. But the Mahapurana is there are 18, and of all of them, the Bhagavad Purana, the Srimad Bhagavatam, is Grantaraj. It is the king of all the scriptures, because it was compiled by Vedavyas, Srila Vyasadeva, and the time of his realization, of his greatest realization, not mental knowledge or intellectual knowledge. Many of the Vedas are described according to fruitive activities or according to Jnana Kanda for mental approach or intellectual approach, with ultimately worshipping the universal form and make distinction of Sankhya, what is right, what is wrong, what is material, what is spiritual, what is eternal, what is temporary, and ultimately come to the platform of Brahman realization, Brahman Nirvana. So, but that's not the ultimate approach, and therefore Vyasadeva felt empty, just encouraging the people in Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, and even in Upasana Kanda, because in the Upasana Kanda there is a recommendation to worship certain devatas or devis to achieve a certain result in life. So that's Upasana. Upasana means worship, with Vishnu in the center. In one class of Srila Prabhupada about this particular verse here, from 1972 in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada said that previously everyone worshipped Vishnu or Krishna. I mean, and he quoted the Rig Veda verse. One moment. Anyway, he quoted Rig Veda verse. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam. I don't know completely. It is a Vedic mantra from the Rig Veda, where it's described that Vishnu is worshipped by all the Suryas, by all the demigods, devatas, sages, rishis. Originally, the supreme deva of all the devas manifest in this material world is Brahma himself. Also, Shiva manifested as Rudra. Then the 10 sages or sons of Brahma appeared, different parts of his body, headed by Narad Muni, Marichi, Daksha, and so on. So there are 10. Then he also created, Brahma manifested the 4 Kumaras, who were representing knowledge, means transcendental knowledge, representing tapa, austerity, representing Sankhya, this analytical study of Vedic knowledge and of the material nature and spiritual nature. And also mystical yoga process. So the 4 Kumaras represent the process of Gyan. Process of Gyan means Sankhya, Yoga, Tapa, like that. So in this way, Brahma created many sages, Prajapatis and Rishis, who were, and he manifested the Vedas and the Vedic culture, Brahminical culture, with all the different mantras, with the different kinds of intonation of a mantra. He manifested the Vedic yagya and the 4 priests who are in charge for the yagya, offering different oblations and chanting different mantras from the 4 Vedas. So therefore there are 4 priests. So all this was manifested by Lord Brahma from his body for the purpose for this universe to establish something auspicious. So Vedic yagya is therefore not something that is created later on. It was already manifested from the very beginning with the sages, with the processes of worship, with the different mantras, and with also the goal of worship is actually worshipping the Parama Purusha, Vishnu, who is the Yagya Purusha. So as Srila Prabhupada was pointing out in beginning ages, everyone worshipped Vishnu as the center, as the goal. And the different demigods were just worshipped as assistants, as different parts of the representatives of Lord Vishnu's body. But they were not worshipped as supreme. Only later on appeared due to the influence of the time and mentality, because people in Satya Yuga were mostly in the mode of goodness, sattva. They were all interested in meditation and in tapa and studying scriptures and in chanting mantras and worshipping Lord Vishnu. And later on, the sages in Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, not in the Dwapara Yuga now, in the Dwapara, because the real calculation of the yugas is Satya, Dwapara, because the Dwapara Yuga means the second Yuga, Treta Yuga means the third Yuga, and Kali Yuga means the fourth Yuga, right? And so only in this time when Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared in this 28th circle of the Manvantar of Vaivashvata Manu, these two yugas changed. So Treta became Dwapara and Dwapara became appeared on third place. No. But previously, before even that, the sages in the Dwapara Yuga, they saw that the people in gradually progressing in this age, they become quarrelsome. Right? They have different opinions. They have different goals and different processes. Right? So they were arguing with each other. So therefore, the sages, rishis, they considered that we have to introduce deity worship. Archanam. So that therefore in the Treta Yuga, deity worship was introduced. Deity worship by worshipping Krishna or Vishnu. In India, you can go everywhere, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. Everywhere you find Vishnu temples. So many tirthas, so many holy places, so many holy rivers, so many holy places where the pilgrims can go and become purified by visiting these holy places. We hear from Vidura. Vidura, when he saw that his brother Dhritarashtra could not become pacified, and took the side of his sons. Even his son Duryodhana threw him out of the palace. So he considered this is a destiny of the Supreme. So let me take this as my good fortune, so that I can detach myself from family and possessions and false identities, upadhis. Sarvapati vinirmuktam taparat vinirmalam, and prepare myself on the path to pure devotion to Krishna. Actually, Krishna was very dear to Vidura. And Vidura was very dear to Krishna. So whenever Krishna visited Hastinapur, so he visited Vidura. He stayed not in anyone else's house or palace. He stayed in in Vidura's palace. Kunti was also there, living with him, because the 5 sons of Kunti were in exile with Draupadi, as you know. So when Krishna came as peacemaker, the Kauravas wanted to take Krishna on their side, so for their interest, so that therefore they gave him a very opulent worship and welcome, and offered him so many things, but Krishna ignored everything and said, those who are the enemies of my devotees, they're also my enemy. And the Pandavas were the greatest devotees at that time, most dear to Krishna. So the Kauravas offended the 5 Pandavas and also their wife, Draupadi, who was practically like the goddess of fortune. And Krishna was very unhappy about that. Therefore, he said, I actually came here to make peace, but I see you only want to get me. You actually you're not well-wishing to the Pandavas. Don't want to make peace. You only want to take me on your side to fight against the Pandavas, to get rid of them. And he said, I don't want. This is not my interest, because my devotees are in my heart, and I'm always in the heart of my devotees. So there is no difference between us. There's yoga. There's always union. There's always unity, not diversity. Materialists always see diversity or want to create diversity, but the devotee always are in yoga, in unity, because they work or they serve the Supreme Lord's interest. So that they even put their own interests on the side. Materialists, they only think about themselves. How much benefit I can get from Lord Krishna or from the Supreme Lord, or even from a demigod. But if they're in trouble, or if they themselves become a little successful or powerful, they even will get rid of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and even of the Devas. Shiva himself had experience of that at Vrikasura. An old story from Krishna book in the end. So I don't want to go in detail because of length of the class, and stay on the point. So so Krishna was staying with Vidura. So and he visited Vidura's palace or house, and he was taking rest with him. He even put his head on Vidura's lap, like as he did with Arjuna. So there was very friendly, very loving relationship between Krishna and Vidura. And Vidura offered him, his wife prepared nice prasadam or food, and Vidura offered it to Krishna. And Kunti Devi was also there. So that was Krishna always never lives in the heart or in the house of the non-devotees, because they would not know how to deal with him, what to offer him, what to ask from him, how to speak with him, how to serve him. Therefore, the Lord only resides in the heart of his devotees, or in the heart of the devotee's house. And if the Lord is living in the devotee's house, on the altar, who is like the heart, then that place becomes Vaikuntha. It becomes a place of no anxiety. It becomes a peaceful place. It becomes a transcendental place. And that is actually the purpose of religion. That's the purpose of devotional service to Vishnu. And it's the only peace formula. Tapasam, what is the verse? Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Bhaktaram Yagatapasam, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, Gyantim Shantim Richati. So that's the peace formula. To accept Krishna as the supreme proprietor and Lord of everything, the benefactor of everyone. And therefore offer everything for his satisfaction. This is Bhakti Yoga. So therefore the sages, they knew that Krishna worship or Vishnu worship, the worship the Mahapurusha, is the supreme goal, is the supreme shelter, as stated here in this Sanskrit verse. Today's verse 25. Sattvam Vishudam Kshemaya. Kshemaya means to derive the ultimate benefit, to actually attain the supreme shelter. Who is this? What is this supreme shelter? It is not just mere liberation, because as we heard from the scriptures and from acharyas, mere liberation is not the goal of life. Even the demons who are killed by Krishna, they attain this kind of liberation. The yogis can attain such a kind of liberation if they're perfect. So liberation is not the goal of life. Actually, liberation is still material. It's a material concept. Now I'm captured, like in a prison, Durga, material world. Now I'm captured. Therefore, I want to come out of this prison. And when I'm out of the prison, I'm liberated. But what you are doing in your stage of liberation, if you're free from prison, if you don't learn better habits, better higher taste, higher activity, if you don't learn that, then we go back to the same bad habits from the past, and again we are in the prison. Therefore, Brahma says in his prayers in the 14th chapter, 10th canto, Aroja Krishnayana param patam tatha patantyatha yushmat angraya. Where those who try to become liberated without surrendering at Krishna's lotus feet, they will fall again from that puffed up position and again take birth in this material world of samsara. So therefore, if we attain liberation, it's not the end. So when Bhakti scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about liberation, it means about shelter at Vishnu's lotus feet or Krishna's lotus feet. Bhakti Pade Sadaya Bhak. So there's one verse, I also forgot. Somebody remember? Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhak. Anyway, so there's a verse, actually from the Bhagavatam, where it is stated those who are engaged with the body, mind, and words in Krishna's service, they're already liberated souls. Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhak. They're liberated. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was an Vedantist, more attached to the impersonal concept of life. Thank you. Tatenu kampam sumikshamano punchane evatma kritam vipakam pridvak vapuber vidadam namaste chivete mukti pade sadaya bhak. So he considered this mukti pade I don't like. So he changed it in Bhakti Pade. When Lord Chaitanya saw that, he was wondering, here, one of the greatest Vedantists or scholars at the time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who practically the only thing that came out, emanated from his mouth was mukti. Mukti, 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 mukti. So he only thought always mukti is the goal. Huh? But now suddenly he cannot tolerate mukti pade anymore. And he changed it in bhakti pade. How is it possible? He wondered. Lord Chaitanya, he wondered why happens like this. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Previously always spoke about mukti. Now he only want to speak about bhakti. And you should not change the scriptures. Because mukti pade means Krishna's lotus feet, Vishnu's lotus feet. Means not impersonal mukti. This is bhakti secret. So therefore, whenever Shastra, Bhakti Shastras, scriptures speak about mukti, the Vaishnava understands, means lotus feet of Vishnu or Krishna, or the Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, or Goloka. This is mukti. This is vimukti. It's even above the ordinary mukti. The ordinary mukti is not appreciated and aspired by the pure bhaktas. They rather serve Krishna in any condition. Narayana, because if in heaven or in hell or in Vaikuntha, wherever they are, they're always ready to serve Krishna. They're happy, satisfied in that condition. So they aspire not for any kind of liberation. Also, the sage who sings Damodarastakam, there's Satyavat Vratya Muni. He also says, I only like to meditate about cowherd boy Krishna playing in Vrindavan. Nothing else I feel any attraction. And then ultimately even says, not only meditate, I don't aspire not just for meditation, I also aspire to see him directly, Sakshat Darshan. Because only the Sakshat Darshan ultimately satisfies the devotee. So the Bhakti Yoga is not a theory, it's not a fantasy, it's not a myth, it is something real, it's actually the only reality. Nowadays we think that what we hear in the news, no, that's reality. What we know, what we learn from history, that's reality, or was reality. But actually nowadays we can find out is all illusion. And the liberation, what the mystics and the esoterics are speaking about, and what they aspire, or the light, bring light in the darkness. This is all material. It is not Vedanta. It's not Bhakti. Because the ultimate conclusion of Vedanta is Bhakti. Bhakti Vedanta. This is the ultimate goal of life. So Lord Chaitanya, through Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, pointed out how much power is there in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or with a devotee who carries bhakti in his heart and whose whole life is only bhakti. Then even the greatest impersonalists and speculators, the karmis and the jnanis will become purified. Even the untouchables will become purified through this bhakti. Brahmanas would not approach chandalas and low-class men. They only associate with same people, brahmanas. Otherwise, they're afraid that they will lose their caste. But for a devotee, it doesn't matter. He can go everywhere. Like you have seen Srila Prabhupada, he even went to this hellish city, New York, with where the most of the greater people were living at that time, and also today, maybe even also same or more. And he went to any other place, and he turned that place into Vaikuntha. So this is the power of the devotee. He can change and turn the hellish condition into Vaikuntha, into spiritual world. So that is the purpose of the great acharyas and devotees. Therefore, they introduced deity worship, but then deity worship later on, Pancharatrika Vidhi, was also not properly understood, and different worship methods became introduced, and that created a great confusion. Therefore, everyone nowadays, when you hear about Hindu culture or Hinduism or Vedic culture, people shake their head. No, they have so many gods. No, this is very confusing. So there are 33 millions of different devatas. Amongst them, 10 are very important in the different directions, and also in charge with the different senses, like Shiva, Brahma, Agni, Indra, Surya, Ashwini Kumaras. So there are 10 or 11 of them who are in charge for the senses, Upendra for the legs, Deva, also Devata. So, but even these devatas, they're aspiring for bhakti. They're always residing on Govardhan side or in Braj, in Vrindavan, and bowing down before the devotees of Krishna, and becoming witness and of the Leela there and the loving affairs, and always offering their respects and dandavats to the saint Prajarenu of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So, and amongst these devas, Shiva and Brahma are most prominent, and Vishnu. Although nowadays and also in the past, many these three devatas, they were worshipped on the same level. There was even one sage who worshipped all three of them as Ishvara, and then all three of them appeared to him and offered him blessings. He wanted to have a son, but because he worshipped all three of them, so he got three sons. One was a Brahma incarnation, Soma incarnation. Another one is an incarnation of Shiva, and another one of Lord Vishnu. Dattatreya, Durvasa. So in this way appeared as the sons of this great sage. It is a very dedicated wife. I think her name was Anasuya. So because all three of them, they're known as Ishvara. They're known as the controllers. So the sages of Naimisharanya were very curious to know from Sutta Goswami which of all these different kinds of worships and devatas you consider the ultimate, and which process is the ultimate process who brings satisfaction and auspiciousness to the people and to the world in this coming age of Kali Yuga. So therefore, Bhagavatam from very beginning on is pointing out Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or to surrender to Krishna and worship Krishna is the supreme goal of life. Because all the different processes or demigod worshippers, they're considered not very much powerful and influential in comparison with the presence of Vishnu, because Vishnu is present in everyone's heart, and he is also above of everything, origin of everything. So when Srila Vyasadeva was meditating, following the instruction of Narad Muni, he got a personal darshan of the Paramapurusha, and he also saw his energies, especially Maya, but Maya was fully under his control. It was not that the Purusha was covered by the darkness of Maya. Only the living entities were covered by Maya or influenced. These 1/4 of living entities who don't want to surrender to Krishna, they're covered by Maya. So therefore Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita that Antavatu palam tesham tatpavati alpamedasam devan deva yacho yanti mat bhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the devas and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the devas reach their worlds, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme abode. Avyaktam yaktim appanam manyate mam abudhaya param bhavam achananto mama vyayam anutamam. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita mudoyam nabichanati lokomam achamavayam. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. I am never manifested the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, means by Maya. And therefore, they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Yesham tvantakatam papam chananam punya karmanam yedvandva moha nirmukta pachantimam tritavrata. These are all verses from 7th chapter Gita. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Then Krishna says, whatever you remember in the time of that stage you will attain. Then he explains how we should meditate about him. Kavim Puranam Anusashitaram Anur Aniyamsam Anusmared Yaha Sarvasya Dataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. 8th chapter, text 9. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, and who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond his material nature. Then 8:15. Mamupetya punachanma tukalayam shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam kata. After attaining me, the great souls, Mahatmas, who are yogis in devotion, never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. So therefore, this supreme shelter, or is not just liberation, it's attaining the lotus feet and devotional service to Krishna in one of the Vaikuntha or Goloka planets. Then in 9th chapter, text 1, Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of all miseries of material existence. So it is not revealed to all the fools and rascals. It is given to those who are faithful and free of enviousness. Avachananti mamudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam achananto mamabhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend to this human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakriti mashritaha pachanti ananya manaso gyatva buddhadi mavayam. O Partha, for those who are not deluded, the advanced souls, Mahatmas, are under the protection of my divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the original and inexhaustible God. Satatam kirtayantamam yadantas chatritha vrata namasyantas chamam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. This is all from 9th chapter. These Mahatmas perpetually worship me with devotion, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, and bowing down before me. And then after Arjuna, who was actually bewildered and didn't know what is his duty, then he understood Krishna's authority and he offered his prayers to Krishna. Arjuna vacha param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham shashvatam divyam adideva macham vibhum ahustvam rishaya sarve devashya naradas tatha asito devalo vyasa svayam chaiva pravishime. Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Param Brahma, the ultimate abode, Param Dhama, the purest, Pavitram. You are the absolute truth, Paramam Bhavan. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, the unborn, Acham, and the greatest, Vibhum. All the great rishis and munis such as Devarshi, Narada, Asita Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. So sages like Narada, very well known, Devarshi, the best of the sages, the son of Brahma, who appeared from his deliberation to show compassion to the conditioned souls fallen in this world, empowered to spread bhakti. Vyasa is very well known. Asita Devala, he was a contemporary sage of the time of the Pandavas. So they also knew. They also came to the assembly of the Pandavas and guided them and gave them inspiration and direction to offer faith to Krishna. So these are all statements from the Bhagavad Gita. Then one very important, one of my favorite verses from Bhagavad Gita is 4:10, where Krishna says, Vitaraga bhaya kroda manmaya mamupashitaha bahavo jnana tapasa putamat bhavam agataha. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, as described above, it is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personal nature of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Generally, people who are attached to the bodily conception of life are so absorbed in materialism that it is almost impossible for them to understand how the Supreme can be a person. Such materialists cannot even imagine that there is a transcendental body which is imperishable, full of knowledge and eternally blissful. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep this same bodily idea in mind when they are informed of the personal form of the Lord. For such materialistic man, the form of the gigantic material manifestation is supreme, the Virat Rup. Consequently, they consider the Supreme to be impersonal. And because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality of the liberation from matter frightens them. It frightens them. They're afraid to even go there, because they're not sure. Is it real or is it an illusion? And they cannot understand how can life be free of misery or free of birth, old age, and death. Although we all aspire like that, but ultimately we have no faith that there is an eternal life in relation with the Supreme Lord. But we are all aspiring to have it here in the material world, because here we know that place we know. Therefore, the scientists and the materialists, they try to make a kingdom of God in this material world, but without God. Ram Loka without Ram. So this is the Rakshasa, the demoniac mentality. But the devotees, they have this faith in the eternal life, because they understand we're actually eternal. The soul never dies. So we anyway are eternal. So why we always have to accept something new and again go to the same circle of birth and death, with new relatives, with new friends, with new enemies, and then again chewing the chewed again and again. This is not the goal of life. Goal of life is to make an end to this circus, or to this merry-go-round, and crack the samsara chakra and go back home, back to Godhead. And Bhagavatam is the process. But unfortunately, people don't know that. And therefore, Srila Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, the Sattvata Samhita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, to give the people information. So therefore, at least the devotees who have this faith now, who came by the mercy of Krishna, Supersoul, and the devotees in contact with this process, they should deepen themselves more and more in this hearing and chanting about Krishna, as recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam and also in the Bhagavad Gita, and become more and more advanced in this process, and convinced. Beginning from Adau Shraddha, Bhajana Kriya, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha, Nivriti, and Nishta, Prema. That's the ultimate goal. And that's all mercy of Lord Chaitanya and his empowered associates, who also came with him to this material world, and he spread this bhakti culture, this process through the 6 Goswamis and their followers and very dear associates, like Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. They gave us this knowledge in their books to further deepen ourselves and in the practice of the process of Bhagavatam. Today is also disappearance day of Kashiraj, Kashishvar, and Purgarva Goswami. So I want to say a little, although there's not much information about them. They were actually very senior. Kashishvar, he was a disciple of Ishvarapuri. So before Ishvarapuri left from this world, he instructed his 2 disciples, Govinda and Kashishvar, to go to Jagannapuri and become personal servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The beginning, Lord Chaitanya, he didn't want to accept the service from God brothers. But then when he understood that it was the desire of his guru, then he accepted. Kashishvar became like bodyguard. He was very strong-built man, personality. And he was very attached to Lord Chaitanya, and he was always on Lord Chaitanya's side, especially when he went to the Jagannath temple. He was always there to protect him from the masses of people who wanted to touch Lord Chaitanya's feet and come near him. So there was Kashishvar who kept them away. Later, after Lord Chaitanya said, because he felt greatly attached to Lord Chaitanya, so Lord Chaitanya gave him a deity. This deity is known as Gaur Govinda, and is now worshipped with Govindaji in Jaipur. So this Gaur Govinda, it's a little small metal deity on the side of Govindaji and in Jaipur. He is the embodiment of Krishna and Gauranga. So it is actually Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya combined. Actually, the Gaura Krishna, Gaur Govinda. And Kashishvar, he took that deity after Lord Chaitanya's disappearance and went to Vrindavan, because the goal of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas is to take shelter in Sri Vrindavan Dham, at least in the end of life. His samadhi is in the 64 samadhi site. It's the first samadhi, by the way, the oldest samadhi from the 64. Nowadays, more great personalities are buried there. Either their body samadhi, although it was very rare, and then it was ash samadhi or pushpa samadhi or nama samadhis. So there are different kinds of samadhis there. And Kashishvar was the first one, and he worshipped Radha Govindaji in temple after Rupa Goswami's disappearance, or even before. He also was worshipping Govinda and also Gaur Govinda. And he was a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. So it's not much mentioned about him besides of these bodyguard and these Gaur Govinda deities. And Bhugarba Goswami was also a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. And he was very senior. He came even before to Vrindavan before Rupa and Sanatana came there. He came there first with Bhugarba Goswami, with Lokanath Goswami. Lokanath Goswami was also a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. And they came there. They were not so much into preaching or into expanding, and also in writing literatures. Therefore, we have no books from them. But they were great Paramahamsas, Babaji. Bhugarba means he was always living in underneath the earth in a cave. And he was always in a solitary place. Nobody knew sometimes where he is, and he chanted all the time holy name, Hare Krishna, mantra, japa, and was always absorbed in the spontaneous, loving devotional service of Shri Radha and Krishna and the Sakis and in the Manjari mood. So he was a very great devotee and very good friend of Lokanath Goswami. Lokanath Goswami, we also don't have much information, because although both of them gave blessing to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami when he asked for the blessings for writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, so they gave blessings, but they thought, don't mention our name. So therefore some of the devotees like Kashishvar and Lokanath and Bhugarba and also Kashishvar, they're not so much information. And Bhugarba Goswami's samadhi is on the side of Rupa Goswami, in Radha Damodar. There is one little shrine there on the side of Rupa Goswami. If you make parikrama around, there in the corner is the Samadhi of Bhugarbha Goswami. So when Narottam Das Thakur came to Vrindavan and he was looking for initiation, spiritual master, so he aspiring to receive it from Lokanath Goswami, but Lokanath Goswami didn't want to accept disciples. So because he didn't want to have disturbance of all this management and discussing with all the psychological problems of the disciples. So very much understandable. So he wanted to have no disturbance in his pure bhajan. So that's a kind of caliber of devotees. We should not imitate. Because if we imitate and also do personal bhajan in isolation, is an isolated place, then maybe we will fall. We will become again either become sahaji or again become materialist, become attracted to the lusty desires of kamini, kanaka, Pratishta Bhagini. So we become completely attracted to this thing again. Kamini means woman. Kanaka means gold or money. Pratishta Bhagini means the tigritsa or the tigress of adoration, name, fame, and glory. So these are the three impediments of bhajan, of entering into samadhi or into absorption in Krishna Bhakti. Therefore, we have to keep, like Raghunath Das Goswami was saying, praying to keep this dog-eating pratishta, dog-eating woman pratishta far away, and don't become allured by her. And this because there's everything with pratishta, kamini, and kanaka is all associated with each other. This is keeping us in this material world. And these great devotees, because they were Paramahamsas, they were always absorbed in ecstatic devotional service. They didn't have to deal with managing devotees. Always keep in secret in Nirjan Bhajan. Narottam was very much inspired by Lokanath Goswami, but Lokanath decided, no, that will not accept. Only by the repeated request and endeavor with humble menial service to Lokanath Goswami, even secretly, then Lokanath Goswami, he approached Bhugarbha Goswami, his friend, his godbrother, and ask about his opinion and recommendation. And then he recommend, yes, this is a very great, nice devotee, very serious, and you should initiate him. And he became the only initiating disciple. Previously, gurus or Vaishnavas didn't accept many disciples, or 0 disciples, or if only a few. Only a few of the great preachers like Jiva Goswami. Not even Sanatana and Rupa Goswami accepted many disciples. So Jiva Goswami especially, who accepted many. Narottam Das Thakur later, he accepted many. Not only Brahmanas, also from all kinds of classes that disturbed the Brahmana class very much, because Narottam was not a Brahmana by caste. So how we can initiate somebody who is a Brahmana? He should only initiate people in his class, not those of higher class. So they were the smartest opinion. But that's completely against the Vaishnava Siddhanta and scriptures, because a Vaishnava can accept anyone as his disciple and initiate him in the process of Bhakti Yoga. If the disciple is willingly or surrendering, not only to the guru, but also surrendering to the previous acharyas and following the path of what the previous acharyas and the superiors established. So it's not just the one personal opinion of someone. Like nowadays, there's so many so-called Jagat gurus, and I don't know what kind of titles they have now, but if you ask them, what is your parampara, what is your guru, they cannot tell you. Or they mention somebody, who was living thousands of years ago and who was a great yogi and then a great mystic, not visible, but he's still here, so that he was initiated by him. So that's very cheap. These self-announced, empowered acharyas or gurus. So that's not the Bhagavad process. We have to learn Bhagavata from Bhagavata devotee. Lord Chaitanya was very strict on that. Bhagavata Paradiya, Bhagavata Asthani. If you want to know Bhagavata, you should not learn from a mystic. You should not learn from a scholar. You should learn from a Vaishnava. That was Narottam Das Thakur's determination. So he wanted to learn the bhakti process, Bhagavatam as it is. So, and his guru, he received initiation, and his guru sent him to Jiva Goswami, and who was the Shiksha guru of everyone at that time in the western part of India. Because he was teaching all his disciples the process of the Goswamis and of the Bhagavatam. We cannot go directly to Bhagavatam. We have to learn Bhagavatam from the Bhagavata devotees, from those who practice Bhagavatam, who realize the Bhagavatam. So Sanatan Rupa Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, all these Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, they all were religious of Bhagavatam. So we cannot jump over them. And therefore we also have disciplic succession from them. And as Bhaktivinoda Thakur was pointing out, they are the modern Mahajans. They are the Puranic Mahajans that 12 in numbers, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, etc. And that's also ascribed here by purport of Prabhupada. So the 12 Mahajans are the great authorities of Bhagavata Dharma, headed by Brahma, Shiva, Narada, etc., up to Shukdev Goswami, Yamaraj, who was the speaker of the verse. And everyone who is following in the footsteps of these Mahajans also become the Mahajans. So Lord Chaitanya made a whole movement of Mahajans by empowering all his devotees, telling them, I brought this bhakti tree in this forest, I'm the tree myself, I'm the gardener, and I'm giving the most confidential process of loving the devotional service to Radha Krishna and to attain prema bhakti. So I brought these fruits and this tree has so many fruits. Please relish them. But because this tree has so many fruits, it's unlimited. One cannot eat them alone. So therefore, please distribute them wherever you go. Parate bhumite hoile manusya chamachara chama satita kara kara para upakara. Where everyone who is born in Bharat Varsha. Microphone switch off. Everyone who is born in Bharat Varsha, his duty is to spread this bhakti cult, this knowledge about Krishna to others. This is the heritage what Lord Chaitanya gave to all his descendants. And we are very fortunate that we can have this opportunity also to join this great movement of Lord Chaitanya and his eternal associates by coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada and with his books and with his instructions. And so therefore it's very much important that we daily always follow Prabhupada's instruction, reading his books, hearing his classes, associating with devotees who are favorable, who are also in this Prabhupada Nuga family, and together become strong in this movement, especially in Kali Yuga. There are many Kali Chelas going around who are making so many compromises and not dedicating fully to pure devotional service, or especially as in a practical way. So it's very important to stay strong in this Prabhupada family and encourage each other in this direction, making plans how to expand Krishna consciousness more and more to make people happy. Although Prabhupada says most of people are not ready for this process because they have so many other ideas and desire. They don't have the Sukritina for it. But at least those who are now practicing, and maybe a few, very rare, somebody maybe will also take up this process, then that's already worth for the endeavor. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, if only one pure devotee, even a Madhyama devotee, will come out of my endeavor of preaching, then this mission is successful of Gaudiya Math. So therefore, we are not in the quantity, we are in quality. We are into the quality. So we don't need the masses, because masses are too much, I would say, lost in their materialistic desires, direction, and all kinds of different ideas that they have. But the devotees who are taking it, and they should improve their realizations and share it with others together, and become strong in this world, in the family of Krishna's devotees and Prabhupada's devotees, and then combinedly spread this Sankirtan movement according to the direction given by Lord Chaitanya and his followers. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. There may be some more questions about it. You actually hear me, or I only spoken for nothing?
For everybody.
Maharaj.
You hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
You understood something?
Maybe.
What you understood? Huh? Subhaga.
I don't know.
Speak now. What you understood?
Maybe nothing. Maybe something.
But you look very inspired by it. So something maybe hanged in your brain or heart.
Everything is inspired.
Everything.
Everything is inspired.
Everything means nothing.
No. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
So one point that inspired you. Tell me.
I like something about samadhis. It's very interesting.
About the samadhis.
Yes.
Which kind of samadhis?
There's some samadhis with ash, or body, or something like that. It's interesting, very interesting.
What else?
This is it.
That's it.
Yes.
You're only interested with that.
No.
You should be interested with that what these great souls left behind, you know. And
Yes, yes.
it's the real thing.
Yes. Exactly.
So, okay, then I have to ask somebody else.
Okay. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Because I think your English is not so good. Huh? Now you disappear. Huh?
It's not very good.
Okay, Bhakti Granta, what you tell us something what you can remember. Is there or is in the kitchen or sleeping somewhere?
Can I say something, Guru Maharaj?
No, I'm asking persons. You're waiting down there. Bhakti Granta.
Yes, I'm here, Guru Maharaj.
I woke you up.
No.
Okay, what do you experience from this class now?
Yeah, I would have to listen it once again because it was very fast, like a wind. So to extract some points and to relate to them.
If you people speaking amongst each other, Serbian people, that you're speaking even faster than me, and you're laughing and joking and speaking, and if I hear you when you're speaking, I get dizzy. I'm actually speaking quite slowly. In English, maybe a little faster, because we have no Russian or Serbian translation between. That's a good, you know, because there is no time for mental speculation between. Okay, Shaktiya, save him. Shaktiya.
I'm sorry, I didn't switch the mic. I start to speak. So thank you.
I hear something from you. What you can remember?
Actually, this last part, when you mentioned the Narottam Das Thakur, how he was the only one disciple of Lokanath Maharaj. So for me, it's also somehow very great that even one disciple he could accept actually this Narottam. So Narottam Das. For me, it's very inspiring how it's going in this disciplic succession. We know how he was cleaning the toilet place and everything. So for me, it's very inspiring, this example, how Guru act in this case to accept disciple. So I appreciate this very much, and I know that the task of Guru is not so easy to lead the devotees and to put them on the proper path. So I'm also grateful to you, Guru Maharaj, to take care of us. And for me, this example is very inspiring. Yeah. And thank you for mentioning this.
And something else from the class you cannot remember?
I come little late, Guru Maharaj.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I come little late. But full attention, I was listening the last part of the class.
Listen it again.
Yeah, thank you.
I have not many left. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rasa. Okay, Rasa, you can maybe remember something.
Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, I was thinking about Narottam Das Thakur, how he couldn't initiate higher classes because
no,
of the smarta brahmanas, that they consider the other the
also that's not true. He
smarta brahmanas.
initiated from higher classes.
He did initiate.
Of course, he initiated, but the smartest they didn't like it.
Okay.
They criticized him because you're not a brahmana, so you should not initiate our brahmana boys.
And I was thinking how I was reading Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and I connected about the pastime of Sridhar Prabhu, who was selling the banana leaves to Lord Chaitanya, and how he actually did not have anything materially. He didn't have wealth. He didn't have. He wasn't high caste. He didn't have disciples, and it was said that the measurement of spiritual advancement is not in the number of disciples. As you mentioned, the previous acharyas did not have a lot of disciples, and it's not about the quality of disciples or the wealth or anything. So I was just thinking about that, what you have mentioned, Guru Maharaj.
And from the class itself, something?
Yes, from the class. I connected to that what I was reading about Sridhar Swami, how the spiritual advancement cannot be measured by these material values. Like how many disciples someone has, how much wealth he has, what caste he has. The spiritual advancement is not related to these things. And I was thinking when you were mentioning that previous acharyas did not have a lot of disciples, Narottam Das Thakur was not considered high caste, etc. That's my takeaway from the class.
But that's in the end. This was not actually the class. This was only the, I would say, something adding to it. But it's maybe too long since I spoke about it, so you cannot remember.
I cannot remember the other ones. I can't remember the other part. If I hear it again, I remember, but not now.
Yeah, but it was not so long. I started at 9 o'clock. It's 1 hour.
I was also a little bit late because I offered the candle in the temple.
Oh, okay.
It's evening in our place.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. We are 4 in the room hearing your class, and there are 2 questions from two persons. Mahapaurushika would have an urgent question. Can he ask?
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj. First, what I was listening when you was speaking about liberation, and I really, I was thinking that I don't understand properly how like by the technique somebody can become liberated. I remembered in Bhagavad Gita, maybe Krishna is saying to Arjuna how liberated person looks like or like that. So I'm not able to understand completely how someone can become liberated by maybe by his own power, I don't know, without mercy of the Lord, and by maybe practicing the meditation, or what does that mean really? Because after that you were speaking what is our goal, how by the mercy of Krishna, by Kirtan, Harinam, we are attaining something much more higher. And also what I like when you said the Vita Raga Bhayakroda, that verse was very, very interesting of me, thinking how Krishna said how is dear someone who can free himself of Vita Raga Bhayakroda. And also one more thing, the third thing that captured my mind was this Pratishta Kamini Bhagini. I was thinking how it, for example, now I have very, very intense experiences of Krishna consciousness in 10 days that captures my mind. But still these Pratishta Kamini Bhagini are like the robbers. And I'm thinking now my Krishna consciousness is more intense and the robbers are around. So this is also what I was thinking when you were speaking. But yeah, maybe my question can be about this liberation. I don't understand it, how somebody can be liberated on his own effort, or I don't know, without special mercy of Krishna. And this is, I don't understand it.
Yeah, this process of liberation of the of those yogis who aspire for mukti is described in the very beginning of the second canto by Shukadev Goswami. I think in the second chapter or 2. So he explains there are 2 kinds of muktas. One goes directly through the process of mystic yoga. He detaches himself from all kinds of identifications and of elements and false ego ultimately. And ultimately he attains Brahma Loka, or the spiritual world, the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, where he becomes an I would say light particle, and the yaki, and the, I would say, in the Purusha. And the other one is Krama Mukta. Krama Mukta means he attains liberation step by step. He still has desires. He wants to see something. He wants to make a soul journey through the universe and see all these wonders of the universe. So little like Gop Kumar story, where he attained different lokas in the universe up to Brahma Loka. That's actually the same idea, But the difference of Gop Kumar is he attained the supreme perfection. He was not satisfied with ordinary liberation. He attained ultimately Krishna, his friend, as a cowherd boy in the Goloka Vrindavan. So there are the 2 kinds. But you are right, Shukadev Goswami says actually neither of these 2 paths can attain perfection without bhakti. That we also see the Mayavadis or impersonalists and yogis, they're adding bhakti in their mystic process as a part of their process, but they unfortunately don't see it as the supreme goal. In the end, they give it up. But Shukadev Goswami he encourages Parikshit Maharaj. Actually, even this impersonalistic liberation is only ultimately can achieve success only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So they have to at least also worship him partially and through the bhakti process, so that they can attain liberation. But Shukadev Goswami says this is not our path. He told to Parikshit Maharaj, this is not our path. Our path is the direct bhakti path. This taking shelter in hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna, and engaging in devotional service. Yeah. Okay. And then the second question.
We have a guest. Her name is Ankita Shiva, and she is a student, Indian background, and she would like to ask you a question.
She speaks English?
Yes.
Okay.
Haribol,
Hare Krishna.
you already answered my question. I just have one question. Like you also mentioned, liberation is not our ultimate goal. It's like we free ourselves from the prison and come back again. We have to attain some qualities. So my question is like, the qualities are bhakti, or what do you mean by the qualities like we should practice in our life so we will attain ultimate goal, not like just make ourselves free from the prison and come back again? Because what I have seen, like I'm practicing Krishna bhakti like from my childhood, but still I'm so much attached to worldly things, you know. I know this is not good, but it's very hard when you are in a family to detach. So how, like, do you understand what's my question? Like, what are the qualities you mentioned?
Somehow I understand, yeah. Yeah, the first quality is the faith, Shraddha, that we have at least some preliminary faith in the process, and choosing good association, sadhu sangha. And in this association, your faith will, who's in the beginning a little weak maybe, or not so strong, but you're curious, and you develop some kind of faith in this hearing from devotees. And in this way, by hearing and chanting with devotees together, this strengthens your faith. And ultimately, in a natural way, you will become aloof from your attachments. To become free of attachments without being fixed in Krishna consciousness is anyway not possible. Like like if you're a child, I cannot take the child something away what the child likes, a play toy, you know, without giving the child something in their place, something better. Or I cannot take away your favorite sweet with white sugar and was not very good for your health, you know, without giving you a better sweet. You know? A sweet what Krishna likes, like a sandesh, something like that. So the higher taste makes you fixed in the determination to make further progress and leave the old history or the old attachments behind. Another thing is also if you are in a family life, so then there are rules and regulations in family lives. So it's not advised to leave family and then join the devotees and in an artificial way. So it's not also not recommended. Lord Chaitanya never advised his Grihastha devotees to give up Grihastha life, their families, and join him, become a sannyasi, become a traveling mendicant. He advised them to stay in that place and together cultivate this process of hearing, chanting, and serving the deity at home, Krishna or whatever, Gaunitai, Sitaram. And then so in this way, establish the bhakti process according to your facilities and opportunities, according to time, place, and circumstances in your own home. Should not become fanatic and then leave home and then later on it drags you back, you know, to the home. So So it's not recommended to leave home. In the age of Kali anyway, it's not recommended. It's only for very rare personalities to leave home and to become a sannyasi or a brahmachari, living whole life in the brahmachari or sannyas ashram. Do not forget, grihastha is also an ashram. It's not that sannyas or brahmachari is better. All ashrams are good. For most of the people, sannyas and brahmachari ashram will be a poison, but grihastha ashram can become nectar if you use the ashram as an opportunity to engage in devotional service. Even if you cannot do it 100%, but try your best, and then gradually we will improve and can increase it, and never give it up. Many they start and then give it up, and then again they start again, they give it up. Like always accepting and rejecting, and the same thing also we do materially. So spiritually they also do. That means spiritually they actually don't come and taste. You cannot come and taste if you have no faith, and if you are not opening yourself for the process. And pray to Krishna. Krishna is there, he hears you, and you chant Hare Krishna mantra. Oh yeah, okay. And Krishna is not dependent on your 16 rounds or the 32 or 64 or 300,000 names. Krishna even can be attained and be satisfied if you chant one name with love and devotion. So it's not the quantity, it's the quality again. Okay?
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Cool. Huh? Good, then we can stop here, huh?
Guru Maharaj, can you please give us darsham from your beautiful altar?
You see it? Huh?
Yeah.
No.
No? Not a good, maybe.
Now,
Yes,
now we
yes.
can.
Now we see.
Maybe the light was not good, huh?
Jai.
You know?
Jai.
Balaram Sridham ki jai.
Jai.
Hi.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, very beautiful.
Don't forget it. Vanamali made garlands for the deities today. Then Pandu? Pandunath, maybe he has some point.
Pandunat prava, ali imaš ti neku pointu koju bih hteo da podeliš sa nama?
He's our clever Serbian devotee. Serious.
Ti si naš pametni srpski bakta, jedan inteligentan bakta.
He disappeared.
It seems that he disappeared.
I will stop here.